Hello, I'm Dan Rossi, bringing you another program of building business value in your business that will stick. In recent programs, we've been talking about the construction of value drivers and how each different value driver brings a different level of value to your business from a different segment of the operations of your business. Here at Rossi Business Transition Solutions, we work from the inside out. We begin at the very core of a company to build systems that will run smoothly, that will stand up, most importantly, to the scrutiny of that buyer. Now, here at Rossi Business Transition Solutions, we recognize that as business owners plan to exit their business, whether it's this year, 5 years from now, 10 or 15 years from now, what must be confronted is the challenge of incentivizing employees, specifically your management team. Without a key employee management team that is centrally responsible for the profitability, the continuous revenue growth of your company, and all the operations of it, then having a strong, established, and committed management team to take the reins. Without this, your company will probably fail in the eyes of those buyers looking to buy a company that they don't have to rebuild after paying millions of dollars for it. So the prerequisite here is that it's no longer a luxury when selling or transferring your business to a third party to not have a successful and well-groomed key management team. Now, before an owner can actually exit their business, the financial security for you, the owner, comes into play at a very important time. And without a management team leading the charge, this task can be monumental and extremely difficult to handle. Few sophisticated buyers out there in the marketplace are going to seriously consider your company without a capable management team that remains with your company after you are gone. More than a third of business owners who plan to sell or transfer their business to management, and that's a huge number of businesses. But without that management team, it probably won't happen. So each of these observations, these highlights that you need for motivating employees to grow business value and stay with your company after you're gone, brings into play key incentives for providing or building that management team. Now, the beauty of a well-designed key employee incentive program is that as your employees meet their incentive-defined goals, you, the owner, attain your exit planning goal of making your company more valuable, making your company flow in terms of the buyer's eyes, and they can see that your key employee incentive system for your employees being happy, prosperous, and totally into their jobs, what they're doing. That buyer sees that, and that's one of the most telling signs the buyer wants to see in order to have confidence to do a deal with your company, to buy your company at what your asking price is. So, what's the first task involved here? First, we need, in a key employee incentive plan, we need to identify exactly who your key employees are. Most of your employees do not fit into the key category. So don't make the mistake when you start looking at your staff that you can pick out Henry and Joe and Judy and it's going to be the perfect team. It takes a lot of work to build and groom these key employees. So initially, they must have different gifts, different values that they bring to your business, already in the years they've worked for you. Now, we know that most of your employees, even though they're not going to fit this key category, but instead they are motivated by the usual perks of working in a well-run company, a pleasant work environment, a stimulating job, good wages and benefits, and job security. This is what keeps the majority of your employees there working for you. On the other hand, key employees who tend to be management potential or in management right now act and think more like you do. There is the difference between key employees and good employees, but everyday employees who aren't going to make a management team what you want it to be. So that's a key element in your selection. They want more challenges. Not only do they think like you, but in wanting more challenges and opportunities, they want to prosper and grow as the company does. This is a different kind of thinking than your average employee utilizes. They want to prosper and grow, and in short, they believe that, like you, the owner, that key positions in the organizational chart will help them grow professionally because they want more than just job security. They want to build professional future profession for themselves, and this is an extremely important way to do it. Now, with these guidelines in mind, let's look at how to motivate this small yet vitally important group. We're going to look at characteristics of an incentive plan. So, first, a well-crafted incentive plan doesn't make more of the owner and the employee feel good. What it does is it creates an inner trust, an inner feeling and sense of security that their goals are going to be achieved in this opportunity to be on this key employee management team. So number one, a plan provides substantial financial awards to key employees, and in our experience, a potential bonus equal to at least 25% of annual compensation is necessary to motivate an employee to modify their performance and do the job that needs to be done if they're going to be a part of your key employee management team. Now, secondly, employees need to successfully perform to determine the performance standards, such as achieving certain company net income or revenue goals. These are big, giant steps if you don't have an actively running management team today. Now, when we talk about performance standards, these performance standards are tied directly to increases in the company's value. So, what happens as the key employee achieves measurable and objective standards? The company's net income must increase. And unless the company's net income increases, the key employee doesn't receive a bonus. So not only are you growing the value of your company, not only are you giving these key employees absolute positive incentives to be that part of the thinking mastermind group, just like you, the owner, are, but they can see that it has to work, and they have to collectively, the 2 or 3 key management team employees must work together, and they grow to understand this very quickly, and they also see that that profitability for them is tremendous. It's an opportunity that motivates and excites them. Now, another important point is the plan must be communicated in writing to your key employees. So the employees must understand exactly how the plan works for the plan to succeed. And not only do they have to understand, but they must see the breakdown that 1, it has to be simple, 2, easy to read, 3, it has to be communicated to the employees face to face and with your advisors who have helped you to put all this together. And 4, contain a summary for easy reference. Now, as we look at those points and we further understand that we've identified just now the elements that make a plan successful, and you and your advisors must determine, among other things, whether a stock-based or a cash-based plan is going to be the foundation for the success of your plan. So, an equity-based plan, in briefly talking about it, stock ownership opportunities is one of the most powerful, motivational, and retention tactics that a closely held business can offer to key employees. Stock ownership motivates key employees for several reasons. And some of them are very obvious, but if we think about it, in incentive planning, everybody wants to own something. People would rather own their house than rent an apartment or rent a house. And the same applies here. Stock will tie your key employees to your company, making them part of the company. That's incentive. That is power for you in building the value of your company through your key incentive employee management team. Another point here is that this plan can require employees to pay for ownership, thus investing themselves, and quite literally, in your company, they become a greater part of the company. Their incentive grows stronger, ties them directly to your company in many more ways. And this is what the buyer wants to see. This is what will create the value that will stick and that will be the value that you close your deal on. And another point is that stock ownership is going to provide strong incentives to increase the business value, and as doing so, increases the value of the employee's stock. Everybody enters into a win-win situation here that is extremely powerful for you. Now, it's relatively common for owners to reward an employee with a small percentage of stock because the employee was instrumental in startup or is integral to one facet of the company or another. But unfortunately, these owners fail to appreciate that even the smallest percentage of stock implies significant shareholder rights for the employees. So to consider this, we should understand that shareholders enjoy the rights beyond sharing in company growth. They enjoy the right to access company books and records, the rights to be informed about the company's financial condition, including your salary, your perks, and often a right to be consulted and vote on major company decisions. One possible major company decision could be the future sale of the company. Think about how that future sale connects directly to what you have them doing as members of your key employee management team. So you, the owner, should be fully aware of the voting percentage requirements imposed by the law or by your company's articles or bylaws before we turn that corner to introduce a plan like this. So as you can see, and we're just touching the tip of the iceberg here, but there are many, many facets of employee incentive management teams that have to be entered into before discussing this at all with employees. It's a system that has to be built with your advisors and with yourself, and collectively, that plan is foolproof by the time comes to first introduce it to your potential employees and start recruiting those you want to be on your key management team.